Hello and welcome to Starting Points, where one thing leads to another. Sometimes you don't know something that you think is a mistake might turn out to have been okay. That you can, you can fix things. So I have an example of that. Last time, when I looked at the video, I said, "Oh, I forgot to give the author's name for the Simple Animals book." And his name is John Stidworthy. And I think he did a fantastic job because he's covering a most diverse world. And this book is, what with the pictures to help go along with his words, is really a neat book. So I thought, okay, I'm going to mention him. Why don't I just show a little bit about spiny-skinned animals, because they include the starfish, the brittle star, the sea urchin. Number four. Number four here is the basket star. And I'm trying to think, how do you get a basket star out of that? Oop, what's number five? Number five is the crown of thorns starfish. And I can say, oh yeah, I think I can see that. And number six is the sea urchin, Dema, and then number seven is a sea cucumber, which we found a few sea cucumbers when we went on that exploring trip at low tide here in Victoria, and heart urchin. And so a couple of interesting things. They're all meat eaters. All of those are meat eaters. Some of them have little tentacle things inside the spines that have a great ability to hold on to the prey. Some of them don't have 5 arms, and I thought, well, yeah, maybe a multiple of 5, like 10, but some of them have 9 or 10, and there are others that have anywhere from 7 to 13 arms. Now, of course, one of the amazing things is they can regenerate if they lose arm or 2 arms are broken off or chewed off. Now, it says that even if it has 1 arm, it often can regenerate the other 4. This is a common sun star, and in that great book, Around the Ocean and 80 Fish and Other Sea Life, there was a discussion of the sea star. And here's the brittle sea star, and I can see right inside, it's like a button, the center part of the creature, and it's got a 5 pointed star there. So I just found the combination of his descriptions, the descriptions for the pictures and the pictures, made a, here's the the sand dollars, and with again the 5 sea urchins. And on the reefs in the tropics, sea urchins of the genus Diadema have exceptionally long, sharp spines. They're hollow and may break off in an attacker's skin. Well, that sounds serious, so I'm going to end on a positive note. The sea squirts, I don't think you'll be able to see, but I'm going to try it here. And if it doesn't work, well, I'll have to redo things. That's not uncommon. But 1, 2, 3, 4, perhaps a 5th one here, maybe a 6th one there, squirting water out. There are definitely clowns. I'll get to a clownfish in just a minute. This is, I wanted to share a few pictures because it's worth 1,000 words of the similar size, but ever so dissimilar in markings. It gives the French name followed by the English name, and I just of course with a white background here, this looks like the eye and the mouth are just attached here, but this is a white bar. It looks like it's really maybe sliced into 3 or 4 pieces. The tail's not, but that's a white bar. I just noticed that. And others are, this one just above it is a big spotted triggerfish. And certainly has some big spots, but some medium-sized spots and some smaller spots. And it's even right here in its mouth area could look like a spot. So, living in southern Vancouver Island, and First Nations people here have for ages harvested the salmon. Remember, the salmon hatch their young hatch in fresh water and then migrate to the salt water and live their time in the salt water, and then they return. When they return to the creeks and streams, bears are around, eagles are around. I'm not sure about what other animals are around to do some harvesting, but First Nations people were there, and then they dried the salmon by smoking it, and that once it was dried, it would be preserved and stay until water was added and it was cooked. And so such a clever way to they didn't have to use refrigeration. This is a crimson sea anemone, and I wanted to show it to you because I have another picture of an anemone. This anemone is shown with a clownfish, and the clownfish and the anemone have sort of a symbiotic relationship. And I think that's an interesting concept where both of them, though they're different, help each other. Because the anemone's sting keeps many creatures away. It makes it a safe place for the parrotfish, and then and for its young. And the parrotfish, in return, will chase away fish that would try to nibble, who were immune to the sea anemone, would help to protect the sea anemone. And I have one last picture I want to show you. It's coral, and somebody's clever idea. You can see the word Australia at the bottom. And as soon as you see that word, you say, oh, yes. If I'd held it like this, you might have seen it as a face. Here's the mouth and a tongue even, but it's Tasmania where my thumb is. The Great Coral Reef is up along this coast here, and it's shown, highlighted. But coral life, various fish and things, and put in the shape of Australia. Well, thanks for joining me. Until next time, we're going to look at fishing. Well, bye for now.